I was born and raised in Ontario, and when I was 17, I hitchhiked out to the west coast, and of course came through the Bow Valley along the way, and it was the first time I ever seen the mountains for real. And then, I went back to Ontario. I actually went to university at York in Toronto, got my BFA in visual arts. And after that, I came out to the Banff Centre to do an artist residency program, and that was the first time I really been able to spend a bit of time in the mountains. And, when the program ended, I went back to Toronto, and kind of mountains were in my mind a little bit by that point. And I eventually moved out here, moved to Canmore. That was about 25 years ago, and been here ever since. And the access to the wilderness and the mountains is phenomenal. And that's an important part of what my artwork is. I really kind of look at, culture in relation to the natural world. And, being in Canmore, of course, there's full access to the natural world in all aspects of it. And the other side of it is that living here it's amazing because you're fairly close to a large urban center where there's all kinds of stuff going on. And maybe even more importantly, there's a major international airport that allows you access to the entire world. So, in recent years, I've been spending a fair amount of time in Berlin, dividing my time between here in Canmore and Berlin. And it's almost an analogy for what my work is, because it does relate to culture and nature. And, that's what's led to this kind of work. One of the seminal works that I've created here in Canmore is a work called Around the Sun, which consists of 3 parts. One part, called News, Weather, and Sports, was shot up near the quarry. The second part, Time Traveler, was shot on Main Street in Canmore. The third part, shot on the riverbank at the far end of the Canmore Golf Course. And what I did is I went to each of these locations once a week for an entire year. And then at the end, I melded them together so that it became a time lapse to look at how we perceive time as individuals and as a culture. Pretty much right out of university, I worked as a professional artist of sorts. As an artist, you never really quite make enough money to make a living, so I was always doing other kinds of odd jobs, and those were extensive and numerous, but the one thing that was always constant was the art making. I'm currently working on a new video project of composite videos, for lack of a better word, where they're kind of cubist in nature, in the sense that they relate to cubism and relate to ideas of cubism, but almost the antithesis of cubism, in that cubism in painting tried to introduce the idea of time into a still object, such as a painting, by having multiple angles. What I'm doing with this video is actually removing time from a time-based medium, being video. And it kind of comes a little bit more out of ideas of quantum physics and theories of entanglement, where there's multiple universes and multiple timelines. And in this case, I'm shooting a series of parts of an overall image and putting them together so it becomes a cohesive image that's also unstable at the same time.